Hi, and welcome back. You know, it's 1:30, almost 2 o'clock. It's 20 minutes to 2 in the morning here. We're having a thunderstorm, and I can't sleep, so we're going to make a cake. And it's not just an ordinary cake, but it does start with a box. And I've given this recipe to many, many people. In fact, a restaurant asked me if they could use this cake in their restaurant as if the recipe belonged to me. I don't know where the recipe came from, but it's a very good cake. Now this is Betty Crocker butter pecan cake mix. And the recipe was actually formulated when it was 18.25 ounce box. You see here, they've reduced it 3 ounces. So I got out my scales to see exactly how much that was, and it was 2/3 of a cup. So I'm going to kind of adjust the other things that are going in here. This is the box of cake mix right here, and it's going in. This is such an easy recipe to be so good. Alright, there's the box of cake mix. And in that is going 4 eggs. Everything just gets dumped in like a dump cake, but it's not a dump cake. I guess in some form you might consider it one. Let's see. That's 3. And I've got one more egg here. 4 eggs. A 1/2 cup of oil. This is canola oil, because that's what I use all the time. But if you use a different type of oil, that's fine. Just make sure it's not a strong tasting oil like olive oil. Then I'm going to put in a cup of water. Well, I don't think I'm going to add a cup. Maybe 3/4 of a cup, maybe. Forgot I'm adjusting. Alright, and here comes the big surprise. This is Duncan Hines coconut pecan icing. And this whole container of icing is going in this batter. The entire thing. That's all of it right there. I hate to leave anything in this jar. Alright. Hands are clean now. As you know, I don't have to tell you that anymore. Okay. We're going to mix this up. And I'm going to cut you off while it mixes. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you one more thing before that. This is the container that I'm using. And I've sprayed it. And you have to spray this very well. Very well. But the next thing you're going to do... Let me get some sugar here. I thought I was prepared, but I guess I'm not. you're going to take, let's see, you're going to take a couple of teaspoons of sugar and you're going to drop it down. Just follow the contour of the pan. Now if you have that type of brown sugar that's granulated, that would be ideal, but I don't have any. Mine's the regular type. And this is what I call dancing. Just dance it around till it coats where the pan spray is. So you got a nice little coating of sugar in there. Can you see that? Alright, now the pan is prepared. Excuse me. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And I'm going to cut you off. When it's done, I'll bring you back. Alright. I believe this cake is stirred well enough. It's only been a few minutes. 2 or 3, maybe 4. And you see it's a loose batter. It's not real tight. While the camera was off, I added, I want to say, about 1/4 cup of pecans, chopped pecans. And I added, and I've never done this before, but I'm sure it'll be good. I added about 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. So let me get this out of the pan, out of the bowl here. Well, I think I'll take this thing off first. There we go. Let me head to the sink with this. Couldn't resist licking my fingers. Alright. Got the bowl out. And get the mixer out of the way here. It upsets me, really, that they cheated, that they're cutting down on cake mix sizes. Because you know and this didn't come out of that book, but you know the book that's out that gives all the shortcut for mixes. I'm pretty sure that whole book was based on 18.5 ounce cake mixes, box cakes. So I guess everything will have to be formulated again. Alright, I'm just going to pour this batter into the, and you can just pour it in one spot because it naturally follows the bowl, the cake pan. And I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and this cake is going to take about 40 minutes. You'll have to check your oven. You know, check your cake with a toothpick. If it comes out clean or with just a few crumbs on it, it's done. So here we go. Alright, I'm going to get this in the oven and I'll bring you back. I guess I'm pulling an all-nighter tonight. I'll bring you back when it gets through. Well, my cake took 48 minutes at 350, and I keep my oven gauged so I know the temperature was right. It's just that, you know, they lessened the box mix by 3 ounces, which was 2/3 cup, so I was kind of adjusting the recipe. My suggestion would be 1/2 cup of oil and 1/2 cup of water, and if you want to add, you know, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup like I did, feel, you know, free to do that. And I let it cool for 10 minutes in the pan, and because I was adjusting the recipe, I ran a knife around the sides of the pan to make sure it would come out, and it did come out whole. And I put it on this little rack here to cool. but I didn't let it cool long enough. So when I transferred it to the cake pan that I was going to put it in, I got a crack. Actually, I got 2 cracks, but they weren't there to begin with. And then I made some praline sauce. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. I'm going to pour this over the cake. I think it's cool enough. I'm not sure. I just got it off the stove. But let me tell you how to make that. The praline sauce is a cup of milk, 3 tablespoons of pecans toasted and chopped, a teaspoon of vanilla, a tablespoon of cornstarch, a teaspoon of butter, and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, packed. Alright, in your pan over medium heat, you add the milk, and you can use skim milk. You add the milk, cornstarch, and sugar over medium heat, and you let it cook until it starts to thicken and comes to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, you let it boil for 2 minutes, stirring constantly. Alright, and after the 2 minutes, you add the butter, vanilla, and pecans, and you just stir it until the butter melts. And here's my praline sauce. You know, it really doesn't bother me a bit that this has a crack in it. But this, you know, you saw me make this cake. It's so easy. Try to put a little more where that crack is, though. It's very easy, and it's a delicious cake. I mean, you would think if a restaurant asked me if they could use it, it's got to be good. And that was, you know, with the old size cake boxes that were 18½. So I think I've adjusted this correctly. And there's our cake. Oh, I just tasted that sauce. It's delicious. Let me give you a close-up because I know that it's too hot to cut. Let's see. Is that too much? That is it, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cake. Starts with a cake mix, and like I said, I used 3/4 cup, maybe a little bit more of water, but I would cut that down to a 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of oil, 4 eggs, and they weren't room temperature, the box of cake mix, and the butter pecan icing. And then, of course, I told you I added the 2 tablespoons of maple syrup to the cake. But it's a delicious cake. I hope you try it and give me some feedback. Give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. Until next time, you take care. Well, I brought you back because I went ahead and cut the cake. There is a picture of it. We're going to do a taste test. And I'll give you my honest opinion of how my adjustments went. Let's see. You don't have to have the praline sauce. It honestly, it's a rich cake. It doesn't really need any icing at all. But I gave it to you just in case you wanted to use it. Let's see. It's delicious. You can taste the pecans. The praline sauce is delicious. The cake is light but not too light. And little bits of coconut going through it because of the icing that went into the cake. It's a very good, delicious cake. I hope you give it a try. Take care. Bye-bye.